Hi guys, and welcome back to our next video. This video is all about SQL injections, and here we are going to continue the series of injecting SQL parameters into the application and hacking the application using data tag. So basically now we are focused on SQLite, and SQLite is a different kind of SQL. It's again database, but the database is focused on one file. There is no such huge database of multiple files. It's structured on one file, and it's actually used for some web app, for example, for some mobile apps when the space is limited, and we need the database functionality not that much as we do for a huge enterprise product. So basically the SQLite is the white version of SQL. The commands are not that much of a difference, but there are differences, and now we exploit that in a little bit different way. So basically now, in order to see that, we do not need Burp or any other software. We just need the web browser, and apparently I say that the web browser is one of the best hacking tools out there. So what the web browser, make sure you disable your proxy, because if we actually enter and enables our proxy, the Burp one, we were not able to actually visit any website whatsoever. So 192.168.1.102 is our BWAP. Go to BWAP and log in with bbuck login. Therefore choose your buck and go for SQL injection SQLite. Okay, so go for hack, and now we see here that we have pretty like the exact search box with the exact titles right there as we used to have in the basic SQL injection. And well, now this is where everything starts. As we said before, and also in the previous modules, everything starts from gaining information and enumerating everything as much as possible. So basically, when you encounter a web app or any engagement, basically, you first need to enumerate and gain information about the vulnerabilities of that web app or that infrastructure and so on. So basically, before you encounter, the procedure is quite the same. We search for vulnerabilities, we find any, we exploit that and get what we want. So basically here, the web app is just different with having a lot of vulnerabilities, a lot different than the infrastructure one. So here, in order to search for vulnerability for SQL injections, you can go to the web app, and there can be, for example, multiple forms like search forms, login forms, and therefore you can try input different parameters and see what kind of output can you get. And if you get something unexpected or strange, that means that the web app is most likely vulnerable to that kind of injection. So here, if I type something like Iron Man, click search, I see the title, the release, I have the URL change right there. So basically that means I am using a get methods. So here I see the Iron Man, Iron plus man, because I've used a space with Iron Man. The space here is represented as a plus right here in the URL, and we have the action equals search. So if I delete that, I should get the exact same output. Yeah, but not. But here the Iron Man disappeared, and now I need to actually see if the application is vulnerable. If I click search, I see all the exact movies out there stored, but see, I have action equals search. This is the URL, so you have to understand how the web app is basically working and is structuring the information. So here, if I type a single quote and just click enter, I see the error. So that means the web app is representing SQL commands. It's actually accepting SQL commands, SQLite commands, and we've inputted a wrong command, so that means the error. The error means that the application just accepts that SQLite commands, but we've inputted a wrong one, a mistake. So basically the web app is saying, yeah, but the command is not found, we have an error here, the command is not actually acceptable, and so on and so on. But that means that we can go for and inject like dangerous commands and dangerous syntax, dangerous queries, and to get some reversals, to get some access, to get some like information and so on. So getting an error here is huge thing, and is basically what we seek and what we want, because keep in mind that everything starts with finding the error. Let's say we are talking about cross-site scripting, let's say we are talking about HTML injection or any kind, we are searching for that error because that error shows us that the web app is basically vulnerable to what we are trying to inject. So here, if I type single quote, yeah, we get there. Now I want to show you something called cheat sheet, and let's go SQLite cheat sheet. And here, let's say SQLite injection, SQLite injection. And here, by visiting the cheat sheet, there are displayed the different type of queries. So far, we can go and understand and enumerate or even hack our database using these kind of queries. For example, we have the concatenation, we have the comments, and here you see we have double minuses because in the previous SQL videos we have double minuses space another one additional, but here we have only double ones. We have substrings, we have table name enumeration, we have table shim enumeration where we are most interested in. So basically, in order to see the database information, we need to break through a different process and write different steps, because first we need to see the database, the tables, therefore we need to see the records to the tables, and therefore we specify in the correct record. So for example, first we need to see all the tables, therefore we need to see all the columns in that tables, and therefore we need to see the specified field in that comments in that tables. So we need to break the process into steps. So the first thing is basically to see how much tables we actually have. So let's go one in the exact the previous commands. So one order by and let's say 10, and put the the terminator. We have the error. Let's say one order by 5 terminator. No move is found. Okay, one order by 6 terminator. Okay, one order by 7. Okay, so we get the error. Okay, nice. So now we know we have 6 tables, and let's use the URL now since it's more easy to use. So one union select 1 2 3 4 5 6 with the comma separated, and therefore specify terminator just to the 6. After the 6, so click enter, and we see we have all the available tables which are vulnerable to some attacks. So basically now we do not know which one of them are used. Let's say we don't know where the first one and the 6th and the 7th one, basically the 7 is not here because 1 and the 6th one, where we don't know where they are used. So basically we should go and attack the 2, 3, 5 and 4. So basically now we can go and see that query, see that cheat sheet in order to see what can we actually extract this information. So now we need table name enumeration, and we see we have select name. So basically select means that our union select, this is quite the same. If we here input another select, this is not going to work whatsoever. So here we have a union select. Basically, if you have some database knowledge, you should know that there are different tables, and by union selecting, we are selecting an output from all the available tables. So in this type of union select, we are selecting all the available tables and we are outputting with the ones that are vulnerable. So we know that titles are in table 2, release 3, chapter 5, and so on. So basically, this is how can we enumerate tables. And now let's see and implement that enumeration right here. So basically, we have a select, therefore we have name. So instead of 2, let's type name. Therefore, go to from SQLite master where. So basically here from SQLite master where type equals table, I believe. Okay, so let's just compare that. Where type equals table, run that, and we see the block heroes, movies, users. We have the tables right there. So now we can furthermore go and inspect every single one of them. Now let's see what table shim enumeration does. So basically, instead of name, we have to type the SQL, which is quite the only change right here. So basically, we have the name, and for the third record, we are going to specify SQL. And now, if everything's okay, we need to be prompted with a pretty decent structured information about the database. So enter. And amazing, now we have a block, we have how the block was made, we have heroes, how the heroes made, we have movies, and we have how users were actually made. So basically now we know all the fields in the users. So create table, users, this is how it was even made, id int 10, so basically not new, it cannot be new. We have login varchar, default new, okay. We have password, so we are interested in that fields and even the email. So now we can go and specify login, and therefore we can specify password. And in the fourth field, or the fifth, sorry, which is closer to the fourth, we can specify the email. And now we don't need to select from SQL master where type equals table, because this is going to give us an error. As you can see here, error, because we are specifying columns, different column fields, and we need to specify from which table we want to extract them. So basically here, instead of that, just simply put users and keep the terminator. So click enter, and we have basically the login, the username. We have the hash, the password hash, which is quite quickly broken. And therefore we have the email right here in this case, and we have the BWAP email here, so the email stored in database. So this is how you can extract the information from database. You see, it's quite a simple procedure, but first we need to enumerate and gather as much information as possible in order to implement such an attack. And it's always better, it's always supposed to actually learn some SQL, learn some database skills. It's always good to go and create your own database, your sample database with some example records, and see how can you select something, how the union works, because there are multiple types of union, left, right, full, and so on. So basically, when you experiment yourself and see about the database, how it's working, how it's representing information, you are more likely to understand what is going on. But basically, we focused on database, and we divided the process of that database of finding credentials in different steps. First, we needed to enumerate all the tables, and this was made by the cheat sheet with table enumeration. Therefore, we need to enumerate all the columns, all the fields in that tables. So basically, every table has a field, and we've enumerated with the table schema enumeration, and therefore we've actually specified what exact field of what exact column we want. So here we specify we want the field login, we want the field password, we want the email from users, and the database just accepts that and brings us with the information we actually requested. But as I said, it's always a pause, because not every SQL attack is just like that. They are quite more complicated, and in order to upgrade and understand what's going on, you need to have fundamental knowledge of any database, and I recommend MySQL, which is the core, and it's pretty easy to learn. So this is how you can inject like parameters into SQLite injection in SQLite database, and in the next video we're gonna continue the series of hacking web apps. So I really appreciate you guys for watching, and see you in the next video.